Hey guys, so we got a new Bronco video for you. This time we're driving the 2021 Ford Bronco Wildtrak 4-door with a 10-speed auto and the 2.7 EcoBoost. And we're gonna do a sunset night drive. Haven't driven this in the dark. We've got a soft top, and so we're gonna show you how that operation works. I'm here with substitute TheTopher, who hooked this all up. And he actually just posted his Bronco review of a first edition Wildtrak Sasquatch 2.7 10-speed 4-door soft top. 4-door. Okay, cool. So from my understanding, this Wildtrak is kind of for more higher speed off-roading. So we don't have disconnecting sway bars in this. We have the Trick Bilstein dampers though, and still a lot of off-road capability. So some basics on this Bronco. This has 315 horsepower from the 2.7 twin-turbo EcoBoost, 410 pound-feet of torque. That's really where you gain your power with this 2.7 over the 2.3. This 2.7 feels pretty fast. The 2.3 was a little bit anemic, if I'm being honest, even in manual transmission form. So some basics out of the way. I wanted to talk about this tailgate because this is kind of an interesting thing. I saw Matt Farrer on the Smoking Tire mention this the other day. This is a significantly longer tailgate than what's on the Wrangler, and if you need to open it in a garage, you might have a little bit of a tight space situation. So one thing I noticed though is that it has, so it's strut operated, but it has kind of a two-stage opening method. So you can open it and it'll stay right there, which is great, and if you push it beyond this point, it'll open the rest of the way, which is really nice. We're on a little bit of an incline here, so it's struggling. But if you need to open up your tailgate in the garage, the strut isn't going to push it all the way open. It'll go to whatever this is, 45 degrees or 90 degrees, which is great. I don't really know how easy it is to lift up this section with the soft top. I assume you have to take a few things apart like you do with the Jeep. The hard top, you just flip up the window and it's super easy to load stuff in the trunk. So that's a consideration if you're going to be moving a lot of things around in your Bronco. Pretty decent trunk space though in this 4-door. We've got a nicely sized back seat with enough legroom. Nice grab handles to get up and into this thing. Decent legroom. I mean, not super spacious back here, but if substitute TheTopher sits in there. 5'11". Yeah. So
my knees touch the seat, but
you're a little bit tight.
Yeah, a little bit.
Got those long legs. Long legs. So, but for me at 5'10", I'm pretty comfortable. This is not a step. It says it right there.
No, you're not allowed to step there.
Don't step there. The 2-door was very tight and very cramped.
Really, I believe it.
Yeah, back here. But that's okay. All right, let's start this thing up. I like these steps. Super easy to get in, given how high and lifted this Bronco is. One thing I'm not crazy about on these is this blue trim around the interior. I think on the Badlands package it's yellow, and that looks pretty good. Or orange.
Yeah,
orangish yellow. I think one of the first things people are going to be doing to the Broncos is matching these colors to maybe the exterior or something that looks a little bit better. The blue does not work with half the colors that this car comes with, I think. And especially with this interior, it's a really weird spec. Really a pretty big fan of the ergonomics in this Bronco. Tons of buttons, knobs, switches. This infotainment is pretty responsive most of the time. Occasionally there are a few little hiccups, but for the most part, it's really nice to use, especially after getting out of that Volkswagen GTI that we had this last week. We've got our go over any terrain modes down here, 4 high, 4 low, drive modes, all that good stuff. Let's show you guys some things that we haven't talked about so far, like this soft top. It's all manually operated, so you just pull these, what are these, just levers down.
Yep.
And there's a strut back there that assists you in your operation. So all you have to do is lift it up and put it back. And that's a pretty good open top experience for my purposes tonight. And you can still see out of the rear window, which is great. If you wanted to take it to the next level, there are releases right here. So you just push down on that and you can lift up the rest of the soft top, but we're actually not going to do that. I think this is good. I like this. This is fine. We'll try it out, see what the wind is like. This is a quick, easy way to take the top down on your Bronco, and unless if you're going full ham Probably what I do most of the time.
It's even got blue on the vents here.
I know, there's a lot
There's
of blue.
everywhere.
I mean, it's a cool blue. It would just be great if they made it match the rest of the car a little bit better. This is also my first time driving the 10-speed auto. So I've only driven the manual, and then I drove the 10-speed off-road, and it was pretty good off-road. I have not had the best experience with Ford 10-speeds, especially in the F-150. You've had this experience too. They're super rough, but you seem to think this Bronco is quite a bit better.
Yeah, the 10-speed in the Bronco, out of the F-150 and the Mustang, it's my favorite. I don't know that it's the exact same transmission, but it's still a Ford 10-speed. So
They've done a good job tuning it. I think it's all down to the tuning.
It's great. I haven't had any clunky misshifts, like nothing weird in this at all. So.
That's great. That's awesome.
And unfortunately, you do get that in the F-150 and occasionally the Mustang as well.
I love the way this thing rides. And look at this turning radius.
Yeah. She's nimble.
It's like it's just turning on the rear wheel. It's awesome. This is a fun vehicle to drive. It puts a smile on your face. I was worried that the auto would be a little bit bland, a little bit boring, but with this 2.7, it's actually, there's a lot of torque. Sport mode in this is kind of ridiculous. Any amount of throttle is like full throttle. Let's see, here we go.
There's
4x4 shift, we're going into 4 auto. That'll help with that flashing traction control light. Oh yeah, a little bit of howl from these tires.
I was just gonna say that.
That's great. That feels real. I mean, it's not blisteringly fast. It's not Ford Raptor quick, but I'm sure they'll make some tweaks and eventually it will be.
Or they'll just make a Bronco Raptor.
Yeah. This doesn't feel like a lifted, modified off-roader on 35s. It feels very refined and very nice to drive.
Okay.
Put it back in the normal mode. I appreciate Ford letting people have a little bit more fun in sport, but the throttle tuning is an on-off switch.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take this on the highway with the top down. There's a little bit of wind buffeting in, yeah, with this soft top situation right now, but not too bad. I do like how close the gear spacing is in this 10-speed. That's pretty fun. Wow! Oh,
this has a permanent flashing traction light.
It really does. I was flat out there and it was really limiting me.
Yeah.
You know, the Bronco's really missing some paddle shifters.
Yeah.
That would make this a much more enjoyable, fun experience. You just get these little buttons and I don't know if they do much. Where's my traction control button? Here we go. Let's turn traction off and see if that helps.
Makes you work for it.
Yeah, you gotta stay into it for a minute. So would you say the wind noise is about the same with the top up and the top down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I hope the viewers can hear me because I just realized I haven't been shouting. So.
Top tip from the TheTophers.
Yes. I would say that you trade rattles for wind noise.
Okay.
Because when the top is up, it rattles a lot more.
Personally, I think that's a totally worthy trade.
Yes. Yeah.
He's doing it
He's got his
correctly.
doors off.
He's probably looking at us like these posers, these mall crawlers without their doors off.
Why is it still?
So traction is still flashing.
Approaching a railroad crossing.
Oh wow, Jeeves.
Oh, thanks, Jeeves.
Coming in with the tips. Well, it feels like with the traction control off, I'm a lot less limited in a straight line though. That was weird. I was full throttle and it was completely cutting power at 60, 70 miles an hour. But maybe it's because I just hit an entrance ramp at 50 miles per hour. I don't know.
No, when I was driving the first edition, same engine transmission setup, I was literally, it was flashing through like 5th gear.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
I wonder if that's the traction control not being properly calibrated for these tires. Let's not hit a deer today in the Bronco.
Brake test.
Yeah, I mean, we do have steel bumpers, which is great.
We do.
But brakes work well.
Right there.
Oh shit. They're really moving.
Yeah. Will the Bronco beat a deer?
So maybe Ford needs to work a little bit on the traction control tuning for this Sasquatch Wildtrak. That reminds me a little bit of like GM's traction control system that completely cuts power with any sign of excited driving or spirited driving.
It's weird that it still does it too after you turn it off. I wonder if you have to hit it and pull it again.
I don't know. Maybe it's just reminding you that you're spinning your wheels even though it is off. Because in my experience with the manual, off was off. Okay. I was doing little drifts, which was fun. All right, let's put the top back up and listen to what this is like with the roof on.
We're going to trade wind noise for rattles.
Yeah. Well, there's a horn test, an inadvertent horn test. I wonder if you can do this without getting out of the car.
All right, I'll let you try that.
Nope. I need to do more curls. Yep.
There we go.
Okay, once you get it past a certain point, though, it's pretty easy to bring down because
it's like soft close.
Yeah, the struts really help. That's great. Okay, so you got a little handle at the top here to help lower this, and then you just push these up, and you're good to go. Great. Yeah, so we've got all these aux ports up here, which are pretty cool. Someone has creatively switched them so that they're every other. But yeah,
this makes a nice. Oh, that's why, because they're satisfying to touch.
Yeah, they're just fun toggle switches to play around with. It's gonna totally ruin the audio. Oh well, it's okay. Sorry about that, guys.
You wanna?
And here's all your off-road switches: lock front diff, lock rear diff. This is the what's the quick turn thing, the trail turn mode.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that's called. Trail turn assist available in 4 high or 4 low. Okay, you got to switch for that. This thing is just, despite all the little rattles and little complaints and issues that people have been having with these things, this new Bronco is just so lovable. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's cool to see a manufacturer putting out a car that has some character. Like, even if it degrades from the overall quality of the car and livability of it, it's cool to have something that's not just like so bland, if that makes sense.
It's the whole, it'd be better if it were worse thing.
Totally. Yeah, no, absolutely.
And it is better for being just a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Love this sight line over the hood too. Yeah. Just so cool. Yeah. All right, so traction control's still off.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not limiting us at all.
Oh yeah, no,
that's great. Even though the light is still flashing.
Yep. It feels faster.
Yep, that's great.
Have you noticed how far away the hazard switch is? You have to fully extend.
But at least it's easily visible instead of hidden down here somewhere random next to other red buttons.
That is true. Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed that you had to do like a nice extension.
Yeah. It doesn't look as bad for you though. I think I sit slightly further back, so I have to extend my arm further.
You're taller. You're the taller TheTopher.
Oh, a little Porsche action right here.
Is that a GTS?
Yeah, it is.
I think so. We're both looking at each other.
That is one thing about this car is everybody stares. And it's probably just like the initial hype with this thing. And also the fact that it's race red. But
it snaps some necks for sure.
We're
We're just gonna go for it. Yeah! Coming back from Woodward.
Oh yeah.
The suspension tuning on this is very good. I was worried that Ford would make it too stiff like they always do, and they haven't ruined the Bronco with overly damped or overly sprung suspension. The two-door is a little bit firmer and it has the shorter wheelbase, but this ride's great. At least in Wildtrak trim. The Badlands that I drove was a little bit rough off-road, but I can't remember if there were tweaks between the Wildtrak and the Badlands Sasquatch suspension or not, or if it's just that it's both the same high-performance Bilstein setup.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure on that.
So, 75 miles an hour, wind noise.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Why? Oh, because you have traction.
Traction. We'll turn that back on. All right. So cruise control. We have not tried this yet. We've got lane keep assist. Is it a lane centering system or is it just lane keep assist? It looks like it's just a lane keep assist, and it's going to yell at me. I'd say there's just as much wind noise in here as there is in the cloth top Jeep. There's maybe a little bit more tire noise from these tires, but that's about it.
I mean, and it's just something that you have to expect when you're getting a car like this. Like, you can't expect it to be whisper quiet ever.
Other vehicles passing you might actually be a little bit quieter than the Jeep. Because it almost feels like there's a window down in the cloth top Jeeps. They're really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot of white noise.
Yeah. I think personally, if I were gonna spec one of these and get one of these, I would go for hardtop.
It's a tough decision. There were so many rattles in the hardtop. I just hope Ford can figure out that situation. I understand it all has to come apart, and it's new, but I don't know. Rattles are such a deal breaker for a lot of people.
What trim was the hardtop that you drove?
It was a two-door Badlands with like the 33s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I drove a two-door Black Diamond with a hardtop, and I didn't notice very many rattles.
Oh, I'm sure every Bronco is unique.
Yeah,
every Bronco is special.
Yeah.
With regards to its rattles. Yeah. Man, I really like this thing. I would totally replace the 4Runner with this in a few years. I'd really be down for like a plug-in hybrid Bronco or an electric Bronco, Lightning, or something along those lines. That initial throttle tip in is pretty aggressive. It comes on strong. Like there's a huge wave of torque when you get into it.
Yeah.
At 60 miles an hour, it's not too bad.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I like this 10-speed way more than I thought I would. I'm very impressed with the tuning here.
It's great.
It's great, and it's bad because it shows that Ford can really tune this transmission well, and they just don't in some of their other products. But the Bronco, this is the best tuning I've seen yet from Ford on a 10-speed. They've done a really good job with this.
Agreed.
This thing's so much fun. I keep saying that, but it is.
Yep.
You gotta love a car with a sense of humor, and there just aren't many left with that anymore on the market. This has been a good week for cars. New GTI, GR86, this Bronco.
The X5.
The X5 is good, yeah. I haven't filmed that yet, but we will. Any more thoughts on this one in particular compared to some of the others that you drove?
Other than the stuff that we've already covered, I think that the difference in torque alone, just from the V6 to the 4-cylinder, is enough that if I were to buy one, I would spec it pretty much just like this, but with a hardtop. And maybe I would lose the beige or the sandstone, they call it, interior.
Yep.
Because the whole dash is sandstone and it's on the seats too, and I think it's a little much, but that's just my opinion.
I'd definitely borrow some of my wife's nail polish. And she doesn't wear nail polish. Who am I kidding? I'd go to the nail salon and have them paint my Bronco.
Yep.
Yeah. No, there are like little vinyl pieces you can buy for that. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
If vinyl would stick to this, it's like a squishy rubber material.
It is. It's
So
true.
I don't know how you would even.
You just swap them out.
Yeah.
They have like probably thicker ones that would fit over it or
Right.
something.
Yeah. Like same material, but like it would just squeeze over. I'm sure that'll be like you said. A lot of people will be rushing to not only manufacture them, but then also to buy them.
Yeah. Yeah, this 2.7 EcoBoost is the engine to go with. It's too bad that it doesn't quite, you can't quite get it with a manual yet. Maybe they'll change that, who knows? Though I doubt it.
I don't know that you need a manual with this.
I would be pretty hard pressed to choose between the manual and this, because they're both pretty fun.
Yeah.
The manual is definitely more engaging, and it's actually a pretty good shifter. It reminds me of the old ST shifters a little bit, but
Oh, okay.
maybe a little bit of a longer throw.
Okay. Those are good shifters.
They are, yeah. They're kind of rubbery, but they're great. They're accurate.
Yeah.
They have a satisfying throw. You could heel toe downshift in the manual Bronco,
Okay.
but this is a really good automatic, and the power is awesome. Whereas the 2.3 feels a little bit slow. You got to admit.
Mm-hmm.
But with a tune, it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So
I was just gonna say, how
Yeah.
long till people have like a Cobb access port in their Bronco?
like no time. I'm sure Cobb already has something. Who knows?
Yeah.
Mate, you tuned your Bronco yet? Yeah, I've got it tuned.
Chipped it.
Yeah. And these are going to get extra quick.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to be seeing 400 or 500 horsepower Broncos very soon. Well, I guess they could do the Bronco. It's not the Raptor they're calling it, but what are they calling the fast Bronco? The Bronco Warthog or something?
Yeah, something like that, I think.
They'll probably throw the 3.5 in that.
Or a V8.
Yeah,
I
that'd
can
be
only
awesome.
hope for a V8.
Oh my gosh,
A V8 in this thing would be crazy.
it'd be ridiculous. I mean, they got to compete with Jeep.
Yeah, well, I think the 392 Wrangler was like a limited run car, though. I don't think that was a.
Yeah, they're getting that in while they can.
Yeah, right. Before it's illegal.
And this still gets, what, 20 miles to the gallon? It's like
Yeah.
18 in the city, 20 on the highway.
Mhm.
That's incredible. No lifted Jeep on 35s gets 20 miles to the gallon. And this might not either. Maybe just that those are the EPA numbers.
Yeah.
But I'd be very curious to see what fuel economy tests, real world fuel economy tests net with this Bronco. Because for a vehicle with this level of capability, that is very impressive.
Yes.
High points. Love the way this thing drives. It handles awesome. It has great road manners. It's playful, fun to drive. I like the steering. I like the engine. I like the transmission. It's quick enough. If you want more power, go have it tuned. If you want a little bit more fun, get the manual. But I think they've done a really good job with what they've offered on the Bronco and how they've kind of separated the trims and differentiated everything. Cons, these things are expensive. The Jeeps have always been expensive, and people keep buying them. And these Broncos are expensive, and guess what? People are still going to buy them. They're fun. They're hugely capable. I think it's kind of worth the money. I mean, especially when you compare it to some of the trucks that are out there with far less capability, maybe more usability and utility,
Yeah.
but not much can touch these things off-road. They're so good, they're almost a little bit boring off-road. And for on-road manners, this is such a big improvement over any Jeep that I've ever driven, except for maybe like the new Gladiator or something. This is really a nice vehicle to drive. You could daily this, no problem. The soft top, yes, it's louder. Yes, you're gonna have a lot of highway noise. But if you want something that's quiet, go and get a Bronco Sport. This you can take the roof off, and that's a huge selling point. The hardtop, you're gonna definitely get a lot less wind and road noise. But right now, until Ford figures that out, you're gonna risk getting a lot of annoying rattles. And I don't know, I'd rather go a little bit deaf than be driven insane by rattles. So
Yeah.
otherwise, I don't know, a really impressive spec. This Wildtrak I think is probably what I would want to get. It's pricey, but the suspension is just about perfect. The Sasquatch package looks amazing. That's the conundrum with these Broncos.
Yeah.
Is that if you park next to a Sasquatch and you didn't order the Sasquatch, you're gonna regret it every single time you see one.
Literally for the rest of your life until you get a Sasquatch.
I know. I mean, I guess you could also just throw some 35s on here, but this is set, ready to go from the factory. I should probably turn it off. This red looks really good. I mean, there's a few little things with these, like, you know, all these windows sag. They all have this crease in them. And that's probably there for a reason. Or maybe it's not. Who knows? But just all the little things that people are complaining about, they don't matter. I don't care.
Yeah. They have just nailed the styling on this thing. Like,
It looks so good.
so simple, yet just spot on. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing about the styling. It looks so epic. The Sasquatch pack is, for me, a must-have. It's like the same philosophy as like if you buy a Rolls-Royce Ghost and then someone pulls up next to you in a Phantom. It's
Yeah.
like,
What have you
the
done?
Sasquatch, like you said, you have to have it. Like it just completes the look of the Bronco.
And it's great because you can get it in any trim.
Yeah. Yep. It's a totally separate add-on.
And next year, you'll be able to get the Sasquatch with the manual, which will be excellent. It's going to be so slow, but that's okay. Get a tune. And everything is modular. Everything is removable on this Bronco. Everything unbolts. There's even quick release clips for the fenders. Yeah, they've really done a good job developing and engineering this for its intended purpose. Got a few little bugs to work out, but overall, I'm really impressed. I mean, unless if you go with like a super thick, heavy duty, expensive, like luxury oriented soft top, cloth top,
Yeah.
that adds a lot of weight, expense, cost, you're going to get wind noise like this in anything.
Yeah.
Especially when it's shaped like a brick.
It's not necessarily aerodynamic, is it?
No, it's not. The graphic on the hood is pretty cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would get the graphics pack, but I appreciate it because it looks pretty cool on here too with like the mountains.
Is there a Monroney on this?
No.
So we don't know what it
Unfortunately, no.
costs. Probably like 60 grand or
Yeah, something
high
like that.
50s.
I honestly think the only option it doesn't have is the hardtop
Okay.
because it's got the leather seats, it's got the Bang & Olufsen Sasquatch, it's got the side steps.
All right.
Like, I mean, it's totally specced out minus the hardtop.
Cool.
So,
Okay. Yeah,
And-
pretty rad.
yeah. Other than a first edition, which was a limited car anyways, this is like the highest trim.
Okay. Cool. Well, let's go drive it some more.
Okay.
The startup graphics on this are always pretty cool.
Yeah, and they don't lag like they do in the Bronco Sport.
No, it's
The
true.
Bronco Sport lags so bad.
Yeah, why have startup graphics if they don't quite work properly?
I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to climb over every curb, traverse up every hill, through every valley.
Yeah, we need to.
I just want to be on my worst behavior in this thing. It's like the Raptor in that respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really healthy power level.
I love that hollow boost noise that you get too. Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a pretty unique sound to a lot of these Ford engines.
yes, it is.
It's a very familiar sound, and it's got to be piped in somehow, but at least
Yeah.
it sounds good. Yeah, not a hiccup from this transmission,
No.
this whole drive. We've gotten super rough shifts out of 10 speeds in F-150s. On throttle, they've always really struggled. This is perfect. It's super smooth, really nice road manners. And in my off-road test of the 270 EcoBoost, it did really well too. It felt great.
Great.
No issues, no complaints.
So it's good in every scenario then.
Yeah, I think so. The nosedive under braking.
The This is the real test. This is
Yeah.
the entrance ramp.
Yeah, when you're hustling this thing, the traction control, it really throttles back
Yeah.
your acceleration. It's interesting. It'll just upshift and almost cut power. It's a very unobtrusive, linear way in how it does it,
Yeah.
but it's definitely telling you, calm down. This is not meant for corner carving. But it's great that you can just hold this for 5 seconds, turn everything off, and you're good to go.
Oh.
So yeah, I think you can one press for traction and then hold for traction and stability.
Right.
This isn't too bad on the highway. I mean, it's okay. It's livable.
Yeah.
Sure, it's loud, but I mean, if we listen to some music.
Here, I can put some NCS.
Oh yeah, that's right. That'll drown out your road noise. The Bang & Olufsen in this is pretty good.
It is. It's a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah. God, I love a good volume knob.
I know.
Oh,
They're
man.
so underrated.
You don't appreciate all this stuff until you drive a new GTI. Yeah, I mean, the sound system's decent, cruising at speed. It's gonna be, you're gonna be fine.
It's efficient for road trips. Like, I'm so comfortable over here. I've been comfortable the whole time. Sound system is plenty to drown out the wind noise and, like, yeah, adequate.
Yeah, very adequate. Gosh, if these things weren't so hard to get right now, I'd consider one.
Yeah.
It would be cool to get the manual and the 4-door, but
Yeah.
I get it.
Thank you, Jeeves.
Above 80, it gets a lot louder.
Yes, it does.
I can't believe this thing has 35s and how lifted it is, and it handles like this.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. It just needs paddles. I want like Baja mode with paddle shifters.
Yeah,
That'd be so much fun.
The paddles on the Raptor are great.
Yeah. The big metal ones.
Yep. Yeah, those are awesome paddles.
Like
so
titanium or something. They're just
Yeah.
super sweet.
I'm sure they'll be added someday.
Well, until the Bronco
Warthog.
or Raptor
Slash
or whatever
Raptor.
it's going to be comes out, this Wildtrak's pretty badass. A big thanks to Substitute Topher for hooking up this drive. This Bronco was provided by Gene Buttman Ford and Ypsilanti. And what's the story on this? This is just like a tester that's making the rounds, or?
Yeah. So every Ford dealer, or I think every Ford dealer, is getting what's called an FCTP, like Bronco, or they get a number of different vehicles. But this is like the mannequin car. So this car hangs around for like 6 months at the dealer. People that ordered Broncos can come drive it. And that's kind of its intended purpose, is just for people to experience a Bronco. That's why it's all specced out with everything but a hardtop.
Cool.
Due
So
to
you can
some
go and check out this
issues.
Bronco at Gene Buttman and Ipsy. I like these mirror lights. They really light up quite a bit at night.
Yeah.
Wildtrak. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.